What could ultimately decide the game on Sunday is Zach Wilson, the New York Jets quarterback. The pressing theme for today's show is twofold. What is your confidence level in Zach Wilson? And what is Zach Wilson's confidence level in himself? We explore today on Boy Green Daily. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been on.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
It's crazy, people. We're getting closer and closer to Jets-Patriots. We're already on Friday here, September 22nd. Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show live every day at 7:30. But the audio is also available after Boy Green Daily, wherever you find your podcast, if you prefer the audio-only version of this product. Without further ado, let's bring in my special guest, Gunny Gumby of NY Jet Situation Report. Let's bring him on the program. Welcome back, Gunny.
Hey, what's up, Paul Boy Green? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome, and I love that this has become a semi-regular thing here because I love chatting it up with you, man. This is
Same here.
This is great.
Same here. I appreciate the offer, brother. I appreciate the invitation every single time. This is always a blast.
Well, let's dive into it. This is the theme. Again, guys, if you'd like to support the show, linked everywhere you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter is an article. Feel free to check it out. It takes maybe 30 seconds to glide through it. It's supposed to be quick reading, but it's some of the things that we're going to be talking about here on the show, including our poll of the day, which I want to throw up right now. And the poll of the day was singular in format, but as I started off the show with that quick monologue, that technically it's a two-pronged question. And I want to explore both of those here on the show. So I'm going to throw this up. This is our poll of the day, which we have a poll of the day every day here on the show. Here it is. What is your confidence level in Zach Wilson as a Jets fan heading into the Week 3 Patriots matchup? Again, I am asking your confidence level as a fan in Zach Wilson, that you believe he could get it done, basically, against the New England Patriots. So we had three choices. 100% confidence, yeah. I'm mildly confident, or absolutely zero faith whatsoever. And here are the results to this point, although we have another 13 hours left. Only 16% said they 100% confidence. 47.2% said they're in the middle. And then 37% said they had zero faith whatsoever, which is an alarming number. But I understand. Zach Wilson's had 22 picks. 7 of those have come against the New England Patriots. He is 0-4 against the New England Patriots. All those interceptions I just mentioned have somehow come at home for the Jets, not on the road, but at home. He has not thrown a pick on the road against New England, if you're looking for a weird fun fact for later in the season. But for now, that's it. So I turn this question to you, Gunny. First off, we're asking your confidence level in Zach Wilson heading into this Week 3 matchup. What is it?
Yeah, so when I voted, I saw this yesterday. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll admit it. I was in the mildly confident realm, right? And that's definitely me. I'm one of the 47.2%. I think we've seen people are going to say they haven't, but I've seen growth in Zach. I think the last couple of games we've actually seen Zach do some things that last season he would have never done. Last season, Zach's never looking down the field while he's in the pocket. Last season, Zach's not navigating the pocket to get the ball out of his hands. He's running backwards, going all over the place. Like last season, Zach Wilson doesn't make the easy screen passes. He had a lot of drop passes this past game as well, doing the easy things, which was very surprising. Maybe the team was surprised he was doing it. I don't know. But there's a lot of things he's done thus far that you can look at and say, wow, okay, the Aaron Rodgers effect is real. This kid looks like he knows how to play the game a little bit. With that said,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish up what you were going to say.
No, I was just going to say, I wish, honestly, that there was a fourth choice on this poll, because I'm not mildly confident, but I'm not 100% confident if I'm being totally blunt. I'm somewhere in that middle range. If there was a 75%, something in that range, that's where I would be leaning personally on the Zach Wilson thing, because obviously
100%.
Bill Belichick and the Patriot demons have haunted Zach his entire time here. The only time he actually looked halfway decent was one of the Jet games where he threw like 375 passing yards. It was kind of a unique situation, and he was really balling out from that perspective. The other ones, and he had a bunch of picks in that one too. The good news is that the McCourty brothers are gone. So they contributed to a lot of those Zach Wilson interceptions. So thankfully and hopefully he doesn't find a new guy to say, hey, there's my best friend on New England side. That's what we're hoping for. We don't want to see that. And I feel the same as you, Gunny. I'm going to be honest. I've seen progress. I know people are box score readers and say, 3 picks, disgusting. And it is. There's really, it's hard to excuse 3 interceptions, but as Robert Saleh said, Butler's in garbage time. I was there in Dallas. He, at the end of that first half, he was humming. He was running when he had to. He delivered the ball where it needed to go. He's not just skipping rocks across the pond anymore with some of these screen passes, and he's like missing guys wide open. I haven't seen that so far. Now, one of the criticisms I'll have of Nathaniel Hackett, I thought he was too conservative at the beginning of the game, which allowed the Cowboys to get going. They just did this run, this, run, punt, run, that. Like, give him some easy opportunities, drags across the field, quick pop screen, something for Pete's sake to kind of get him moving, because it's supposed to be the first 15 to 20 plays are scripted from an offense coordinator, which means those are the plays you practice all week, and you know you're going to start the game with this. Now, as we see one comment here on the screen, there is supposed to be, I don't have the name of it in front of me, but a tropical storm coming through that's supposed to smack the Jets right there. It's like Tropical Storm 16 or something. And so it's not at hurricane level, but it's at tropical level. And it's supposed to smack this game, which should be heavy rain for this game, and 2 other games are affected. I think that's Baltimore, Washington. So that could mean running the ball more, which I think fans will be a fan of. But the point is I'm just saying, I don't want you to go turn the cap backward and Zach Wilson's thrown it 60 times. I don't know if that's necessarily the answer, but I would like to see a where you're orchestrating and getting him going. You can't just hide him. He's part of the game. He's the quarterback, and that's the most important position in football. So I wish there was a 4th choice on this poll, because I'd be leaning towards that one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I went with the mildly confident because it's all I had. I have more than 0 faith, but you're right. I do not have 100%, confidence. I'm with you on that one. I think that 65 to 75% range, if that was an option, I'd have chose that as well. Listen, I know we can't hide Zach, right? I do believe we do have a running back combination in Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook that can make things very, very difficult for any defense. I do want to see a bounce attack. I'm with you, man. I do not want to see Zach Wilson launching the ball 60 times in a game. No need for that. 25 to 30 freaking potential passes. Let's even it out with the run game. I think this could be a recipe for us to not just beat the Patriots, but literally make the playoffs this season. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like Super Bowl, like we were with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Without the quarterback, it's very hard to do that. But can we get to the playoffs with this defense, this run game, and Zach Wilson giving us, top 20 NFL quarterback play? Yeah, that's very feasible. The game plan needs to change a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Boy Green. I really think like last week, there wasn't a game plan really specific effort put into the game plan for the Cowboys. I really think they were thinking ahead. They were already thinking about this game against the Patriots, because when you look at the personnel utilization, it was insane. Like it made 0 sense to me as if they went out there like, listen, we're going to go ahead and try here. If we win, great. If we don't worry about it. Next week is the Patriots. We're going to prepare for that. The game plan made such little sense in terms of the personnel utilization, the play calling. Breece Hall gets 4 touches. How does that even really happen? To where I'm thinking to myself, oh, I get it. You saved all the stuff for next week. You didn't want Belichick to have anything on tape, so you didn't have to worry about it going into next. That makes more sense, right? Like, to me, I'm hoping that's the case, because if they rout the Patriots, right, if they beat the Patriots convincingly on Sunday, I don't think any one of us remembers what happened last week. I don't think anybody talks about, week 2 when the Dallas Cowboys beat us by freaking 20. So I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that the game plan was, and we went in there and we tried. They got us. Don't worry about it. We didn't want to give enough stuff on tape for Bill to game plan for the real game plan we're about to bring out of the office.
I like the conspiracy theory. That's interesting. I will say this, okay, that I don't want to lose any game. If the Jets could go 17-0, I would want them to do that,
100%.
obviously.
Yeah.
However, However, if you were going to lose a game and you could cherry pick which one it was, it would be an NFC game on the road because as we're talking about playoffs, Jim Morris Sr.
Playoffs.
somewhere is losing at playoffs over there. But the point is that the NFC games don't matter. Like wins matter, obviously, but if you're going to lose, and again, the Jets probably weren't going 17-0, you're going to lose somewhere. Like the NFC losses are great because you want divisional; those are most important. The Jets have a chance to go to 2-0 in the division for the first time since 2012. Here's another stat: if they get their second AFC East win, that will match the amount of AFC East wins Robert Saleh had cumulatively over the first 2 years of his head coaching ship. Let me repeat that one more time. They have a chance to get 2 division wins in the first 3 weeks of the season. He only had 2 division wins heading into this season with 2 seasons to add that all up. So this is massive. And then, of course, the Patriots still went 3 and all that jazz. So I'm all about it, and I hope that you're right from that perspective. And the Patriots, I threw this tweet out earlier this week, have never seen Breece Hall. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL literally the week before he would have faced off against the New England Patriots, which obviously meant that he also missed the second one. So I think in the same sense that Breece Hall said, "Hey, Buffalo Bills, my name is Breece Hall. Here's 127 yards, you bastards." I'm hoping he gives a similar introduction to the New England Patriots. "Hey, you haven't met me before. Booyah!" And punch him right in the face. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. I want to do a follow-up here. Now, again, I didn't ask this poll question to the universe, but I always consider this poll multi-pronged. Not only our confidence in Zach, but arguably more important is Zach Wilson's confidence in himself. And as I've prepared for this game and notes for all these Board Green Daily interviews and everything else, of course, highlights or lowlights, depending on your perspective, from last year's Jets-Patriot games kept popping up. Zach Wilson getting sacked, Zach Wilson throwing picks, all kinds of crazy crap against the New England Patriots. And I said, well, like when I'm looking at him, I'm like cringing. Like I'm at my therapist. I'm like, huh, she pressed the wrong button and I'm spilling dark secrets I wasn't planning on doing. Like if I'm feeling that way, I can only imagine how Zach Wilson would be feeling that way. He's saying all the right things that the press is saying, like you could take anything from film. So we're not throwing it out, but new offensive coordinator, like we're going to figure this out. What do you believe? We're prognosticating here. We're not in Zach Wilson's head. But what do you believe his confidence level is in himself heading into this game? Because that may be the most important question on the docket.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, like Zach Wilson has something like a 50% completion rating, 2 to 7, 2 touchdowns to 7 interception ratio.
2 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Yep. And he's lost, right? But I think
and he's
last
been sacked
year
12 times. Yeah.
Yep. So last year I think we saw it when that game was over. He was doing a press conference and he was talking about like, we'll see them again. Like he was pissed. Zach Wilson was pissed. Now, granted, it didn't matter, right? But there was anger there, there's frustration there. So I think for Zach, this is kind of personal, right? And you got to think as a competitor, a team that's done this to you consistently over since the beginning of your career is something that's got to get to you, peel away at you, pick at your nerves. As a competitor, as a man, that just gets to be too much, right? So I think Zach Wilson has allowed this game to get personal. Whether or not that's a good thing, that's where we got to be concerned. I think he believes he's going to go in there and redeem himself. I do believe that he thinks, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to redeem myself. This is going to be my redemption game. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's the only quarterback since, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, that's ever got a chance to play Bill Belichick for a 5th time, if I'm not mistaken. Every other quarterback was 2 seasons and then out. He's literally going to get a chance to play him for the 5th time. Maybe the 5th time's a charm. Right? Maybe all this time, all we needed was the quarterback to get the 5th opportunity to go up against these guys. And I think he feels confident. If I had to put a scale on it, I'm going to say that Zach Wilson is about a 7 out of 10 going into this game, that this is going to be his redemption game.
Okay, we can only hope. Let me throw this on the screen. This Rev mentioned yesterday. Breece Hall spoke with the media, and Breece Hall was asked about his health level. You'll hear both question and answer here. Here is Breece Hall.
How do you feel physically at this point? I feel pretty close to being back to what I was last year.
Pretty close to what he was feeling last year. Ruh-roh, New England. Could have some issues there, pal. So phenomenal. There you go. Breece Hall yesterday saying he's feeling pretty close to what he was last year, which could be great news for the New York Jets. Bad news for the New England Patriots. What kind of game are you anticipating here, especially with the weather? And I heard someone say, they're betting the under. I might have bet the under before even hearing about weather, but
About the
weather
yeah.
certainly only helps, I believe, in that regard.
Yeah, no, I think it was before the weather. It was going to be a defensive game with running offenses, right? I think the Jets are going to utilize our run game in this one quite a bit. Some screen passes, hopefully some quick timing routes to get the ball out of Zach's hands, get the comfort level down, get him settled down a little bit, but let his playmakers do damage. McCall Hardman needs to be out there. I'm confident we're going to see a lot more of Breece Hall than 4 touches from last week. Dalvin Cook, I'm pretty sure he's also upset he fumbled the ball last week. Like, there's so many components that makes this game an opportunity for us to get in there and just feed our playmakers. So I don't expect Zach Wilson to have a 200. This isn't going to be his 300-yard passing game. It's not going to be that, right? Like, Zach Wilson is going to go in there and play more of a game manager role. We just saw what the Miami Dolphins did to the Patriots with Raheem Mostert, right? I mean, listen, don't take this the wrong way, Zach, but if Tua's not, exploding on them, if Tyreek Hill's not getting more than what was a 45 passing yard or receiving yards, I'm not expecting us for us to go in there and just start launching the ball around everywhere. So I want to see this run game really take effect and then let our defense go after these guys. If I'm not mistaken, I think Mac Jones has been sacked 12 times by this defense too. So let's let this defense get after Mac Jones. Hopefully when we get another pick 6 this time, it doesn't get called back off of some ridiculous freaking faulty penalty. But let the defense do the work. Let the run game do the work. Let Zach Wilson use this game as a confidence builder. A couple of dink and dunks, like Dak Prescott did to us last week. Let's make it some dink and dunks. Let the playmakers do the damage. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. 17-10 is where I'm at right now, with it being more on the running offense and then, of course, our defense.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I want their blood running through the streets, so I would prefer a 45-0 bloodbath.
100%. Oh, God, 100%.
However, I guess I won't be picky after losing 14 in a row and 22 of 24. I will take it however that is delivered by Santa on my front stoop. So I am willing to embrace that as is. But I do think you're right that first off, hopefully if the Jets get a pick 6, hopefully this time it counts. And if it does, I'd be the Jets defense going, "Hey, New England, did that one count, you bastards?" So I'd probably be yelling that if and when that does proceed to occur. Yeah, 12 sacks last year for the Jets defense against Mac Jones. Mac Jones' numbers, when you look at them raw, they look good. He's got a very high completion percentage, hovering in the 68.8%. The passing yardage is good. Touchdown interception ratio. Like, all those numbers look pretty good, although they've had 4 turnovers. That leads the league. So a couple of stats. Their four giveaways leads the NFL. That's tied for first in the NFL. Number 2, their run defense is 20th in the league. There are 32 teams in the league, which means it is a below average run defense. And to your point, Raheem Mostert had that last final run, which was the nail in the coffin, and also is pretty good throughout the entire contest. So that's what I want to see. I do just want to randomly call out Nathaniel Hackett here, randomly, and just say this may be one of the dumbest answers I've ever heard from a coach in my life. And they said, well, we kind of underestimated the speed of Micah Parsons.
Sorry, what?
You, your grandma, we all know what the speed of Micah Parsons is. There is a -% chance if I was the offense coordinator, I would ever underestimate. If anything, I'm overestimating. I'm like, okay, he is so fast that he's going to be the Flash, or that one guy, the night guy from the superhero movies, where foo, Nightcrawler, I think that's his name, where he's like black, just appearing all over the place. Like, that's how much I would overestimate his speed. So that may be the dumbest thing I've ever heard from a coach.
Yeah.
So that's why you were letting Micah kind of go crazy. He probably would have went crazy no matter what you did. But hearing that answer was just the stupidest thing I've ever
frustrating.
heard. So Matt Judon is not Micah Parsons, but he's pretty damn good. So you got to make sure you overestimate anything and everything with him so you can be prepared, because you don't want him wrecking the game and doing those kind of things. That's something that, again, ultimately I want to avoid here. So Jets-Patriots, I think this could determine the season, quite frankly, because 100%. If the Jets win, Zach Wilson's demons can be quelled. The Jets' own demons, like, we got that monkey off our back. Now let's breathe and let's kind of have this lax attitude heading into this Kansas City Chiefs game at home, Sunday Night Football, for the first time in over a decade. Like, our energy and momentum will be a lot different at 2-1 as opposed to 1-2 heading into that Chiefs game. So, like, This is just massive. They need to get this done. I don't care. Well, New England's 0-2. Suck it, baby. You can be 0-3 for all I care. I don't care how desperate you are. We're desperate. We've lost 14 straight times, you bastards. I've had enough of your Garbaggio. It's time to beat your ass. So, that's what I'm hoping for. Any final nuggets here on this? Again, this early time to chat before the game on Sunday. Any final notes you want to get out there in the Jets universe on this Patriots game? Gunny.
Nathaniel Hackett has a lot to prove himself, right? We're talking about an individual who was given a head coaching role with the thought process that he might get an Aaron Rodgers. He didn't. He got Russell Wilson. That was a nightmare over there in Denver. He comes here. Again, Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be here as well. Aaron Rodgers is gone. At some point or another, as a man, you got to go ahead and show you can stand on your own 2 feet. And now I know Hackett has done some things prior to the Aaron Rodgers saga, but it seems like the last 5 years of his career have been kind of tied around what Aaron Rodgers has done. So he's got something to prove himself. And when he made that response on that press conference yesterday, I almost lost my mind. I'm like, you're the offensive coordinator of this team, and you underestimated Michael Parsons. That was frustrating for him to hear. Like, this is why you're not a head coach. You don't even know how to properly have a conversation in the media. To say something like that to me just showed a lack of competence. And it was, you brought it up right now, and I got mad again just thinking about it, because that makes zero sense. For that to be the reason Michael Parsons went off is because you underestimated his speed. Okay, cool. He has something to prove this week. And again, I'm telling you, everything can be wiped away as Jets fans if you beat the Patriots. If you beat the Patriots, man, and you put out a respectable game plan out there, it doesn't even have to be a great game plan. Just respectable. A respectable game plan out there that allows Zach Wilson to be functional and for us to get the dub. Last week never happened. You telling us that as an offensive coordinator that's in the NFL, you didn't realize how fast Michael Parsons is. It's washed away. He needs to get this win. Again, we're desperate. This is a must-win game, I think. I'm with you. I think whoever loses this game season, in essence, is over. I know that seems like hyperbole with the Jets being what would be 1-2, but in all actuality, 1-2 puts us at the bottom of the division because the Patriots would have beaten us. Like that. That's a bad way to start, and it's hard to get out from the basement once you get there. Let's end the Patriots season. Let's do that. Let's be the team that effectively ended the Patriots season in week 3. Like, my God, do you know how much that could, like you said, quell the demons? It should slaughter the demons if we're the team that sends these guys into the basement and keep them there in week 3. So I'm with you, man. Like, this game matters. It matters a lot. And I don't care if they're 0-3. We're 1-1, but we're 0-14. So we're 0-14 against this team. So we're just as desperate as they are right now for a win. This is a must-win game for me.
Yeah, by the way, just for people to know, if the Jets beat the Patriots or drop them to 0-3, their next game is on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. So they could be 0-4. And by the way, the last time they were 0-4 is that 2000 season for Bill Belichick. And then they'll play the Saints, and then, against Derek Carr, I'm sure that'll get a win in there. But nonetheless, that Cowboys, good luck, pal. So we have a chance to send them to 0-3 and potentially 0-4. And I don't know if there's any coming back from 0-4 as it pertains to the playoffs. So it should be interesting, to say the least. Gunny, I always love chatting. We're going to keep doing this semi-regularly. This will be a lot of fun. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, brother. You tell me when. I'm available.
All right, will do. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll have a couple more videos out today on the channel that are not live, but will also be live tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for another episode of Boy Green Daily. Before we go, I'll give this quick nugget. I forgot to share this. We have Kevin Bracco on our YouTube saying Greg Zuerlein practiced limited yesterday. Depending on when you hear this, if you're not hearing it live, we're supposed to get an answer on Zuerlein today. That's what Robert Saleh said earlier this week. The limited is better than the not practicing, so the arrow pointing in the right direction. TBD on that. That announcement should be coming later this morning as Robert Saleh is set to speak. Just a quick shout out on that. So injury news and updates to come. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30.